Welcome to the Enhancement Talent Podcast.
Any man with two hands has a fighting chance.
You're only half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
What?
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son.
What?
I'm not burning with you. Give me a hell yeah.
We are back and better than ever. Welcome to the Enhancement Talent Podcast, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We appreciate you stopping by and making us a part of your day. I am your host, Brock Fluker, and I'm joined by Chris Kirby.
Yay, me.
Yes, we
got a lot of enthusiasm in there going in there. Come on now.
I got to.
Wow. About a wake-up call.
I mean, we've made it through another week, you know?
I know, it's surprising.
And somehow our show hasn't been canceled yet.
Well, considering we're in charge of that.
Yeah, one day Spreaker is just going to, cancel our show.
That'd be our luck.
We're paying them to put our show on there, and they're going to cancel it.
Yeah. And then they're going to bill you for canceling it.
Yeah, so how's it going, man?
Another long week, man. Another week of actually decent wrestling.
Yeah. Not bad Raw and SmackDowns to go over.
I mean, a couple crappy segments, but overall, pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to start off with a curveball to throw you, because I haven't told you about this. But
what? You're keeping secrets?
Yeah.
How dare you?
So on Monday, I don't know if you saw this, it was the 18-year anniversary of the match where Sid Vicious broke his leg.
I heard about it.
18 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time?
I do. I remember that match.
Yeah.
That was pretty gruesome watching.
Yeah.
It really was.
That was when we figured out that no man, especially of that size, is meant to do a big boot off of the top rope.
Yeah. Yeah, no big guy like that should be on the ropes.
Not only on the ropes, but landing on one foot.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It was very destined for
If I'm right, wasn't that the end of Sid?
I think so.
I don't think I ever saw him after that.
I mean, I don't really know for sure, though. But I don't recall seeing much else that he did.
I mean, he might have had a cameo appearance here and there, but I don't think he ever wrestled in a WWE ring or WCW ring after that.
Yeah. So,
before we get started, I've got something to say.
All right, go for it, Chris.
Don't miss Total Bellas on Sunday.
Has it debuted yet?
Yeah, it debuted this past Sunday.
Did you watch it?
Of course.
How was it?
It actually wasn't horrible. It really wasn't. But, I mean, you also got to look, they're filming 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So, 6 months ago, it would have been a nice surprise. Now it's just like a recap of what happened.
Well, I just see the commercials every week on Raw, and that's my version of watching the show. And I guess on Sunday it's going to be like that they invited some dude they met at a bar to dinner.
Yeah, they're supposed to try and hook up Nikki.
That Nikki's probably going to have sex with or something.
Probably. That might be who she's dating now.
Do they imply sex on that show at all?
Not really. I mean, they might make a comment once in a while, but it really is G-rated.
Okay.
I mean, it's no worse than, watching Bambi.
Bambi.
Which, I mean, if you think about it, there's a murder scene in there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so do you want to do a Bambi review or a Raw review?
Let's do Raw. I haven't watched Bambi in a while.
Okay. All right, so Raw started like it was 1998 with the limo appearing and Vince McMahon coming out.
It brought back some memories.
we have regressed back to them, and Vince comes out of the limo, and after that, Braun's music hits. I think is how it went, And Braun cuts a promo about beating Lesnar and yada, yada, yada. Basic Braun Strowman stuff.
Same old.
And Baron Corbin interrupts Braun's promo. And this ends up with a chase scene.
Yeah.
And
tell you what, Braun can move for a big guy.
well, I think part of that is that the person that he's chasing has to intentionally run slowly.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's quick for a big guy.
No, he is. I'm not doubting that.
But yeah,
but
have to slow down.
But the comedy of this is hilarious.
Oh yeah,
especially with the way Braun runs, with how wide his legs are apart from each other.
It kind of looks like what I think it would look like if Vince McMahon would run.
Yeah,
could you imagine he'd throw his arms out of socket?
Well, the one time he did run in that Royal Rumble match where he tore both of his quads.
Oh yeah,
he ran into the ring and then
that's why he doesn't run anymore.
Get up.
That's why you don't run. I remember that. I actually saw that on YouTube not too long ago.
Yep, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So this ended with Braun chasing Corbin around backstage, and Braun at one point he confronts the Singh brothers, and he asks them which way he went, and the two Singh brothers point in the opposite direction.
Yeah,
and so he just chucked one of them.
Yeah,
I think it was Samir, maybe.
Well, when Braun gets done, he's just smear.
Yeah, so this was the way this concluded with Elias just randomly appearing.
He was sitting there the whole time.
And singing where Baron Corbin is.
Yeah.
He's the narrator of the show or something.
It's like a Christmas classic. You'd watch it every year.
I would not mind if that's Elias's new gimmick, is that he just narrates over things as they happen. Cool.
Maybe we're getting on my commentary doing that.
Yeah. And so Baron hid in Vince McMahon's limo, which we saw at the beginning. And so Braun breaks into the limo with a crowbar or something,
some kind of pipe or something,
and just breaks the window open and tears the door off. Then Baron runs out the other side.
Yeah. And
right as Braun turns, probably to go and chase him, he turns right into Vince. And the two are staring at each other as it goes to commercial.
Yeah.
And then we come back from commercial, and they're still staring at each other.
That had to be an awkward commercial break.
So I am left to believe that they were just sitting there staring at each other for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But I did find it hilarious, though. Braun picks up the door and tries to put it back on.
And I really thought he was going to look for some duct tape or something. I mean, just to make it stay there.
Yeah. So Vince says that Braun owes him $100,000 to repair this.
And I'd like to know in what world that limo cost $100,000.
Yeah, so which is exactly what Braun said. He said this piece of crap isn't worth $100,000.
Yeah.
So
at least not now.
Not anymore. It's not. And so Vince's response to that is to take him out of the match with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, to which
and fined. $100,000.
Okay. I didn't know if that was still brought on with that, but either way.
Well, that was actually before he got taken out of the match.
Okay.
That was just for messing up.
Yeah. So, in anger, Braun flips over the limo.
I know. Which, does it seem like a big stretch that he can do that, considering we saw him flip over a tractor trailer?
Yeah.
Well, a semi-cab anyway.
Yes, the production trucks that Kurt Angle said cost $12 million.
Yeah. Maybe the trailer. But he didn't flip the trailer.
And so Braun flips this over. There's about 10 camera cuts in the midst of this.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of this was Corey Graves on commentary says, "That was unbelievable. That was unreal."
You're right.
Yeah, you don't say. And so I did want to mention, though, that with Braun being taken out of this match, the reason of which that happened, and it was Meltzer, of course, in The Observer, that mentioned, he said before Raw started that there was going to be an angle to take Strowman out of the match. And he said that the reason, Braun is still not cleared.
Oh, really?
But that is not why they took him out of the match. So essentially, what they did was they booked the match to sell tickets.
Yeah.
And then they took him out of the match because apparently the reason is that they know that they're not going to have Braun win, and they don't want him to lose to Lesnar again.
He can't.
So they don't want him to take that loss. So they took him out to spare him that.
Yes, and now we're still going to be stuck with Lesnar until WrestleMania?
I would assume so.
2025?
Well, so it's just such a weird thing that they decided to knowingly book this, even though they knew that they weren't going to do it.
And if that actually got out widely, couldn't they actually get sued? Because that's fraud.
Well,
I mean, in a way, it's fraud for enticing someone to buy tickets knowing you're not going to even have what you're.
Well, that's why they have the caveats, and all of the tickets you buy are subject to change.
Yes, I get that.
That's their legal outs.
But I could see that, with if somebody got hurt or injured or something, but not because you deliberately lied.
It's not the first time they've done this.
Well, I'm sure it's not. It's just the first time I'm saying so.
Yeah, I remember back when. Even when Steve Austin broke his neck, I think it was when he broke his neck, that they were advertising him for a pay-per-view match that they knew they were not going to have him for, but they still did it.
Well, that's back in the attitude era. I expected
to sell tickets. Yeah, and obviously not as many people were in the know back then.
Yeah, exactly. The internet wasn't like it is now.
Meltzer still reported that in the Observer, but the Observer isn't as big then as it is now.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking 20 plus years ago.
Yeah. So that is why. And we'll set up Brock. I always want to call him Braun because they both start with BR.
I know.
But we'll talk about how they set up his match later.
Yeah, that'll come later.
And after this, we got Sasha Banks and Ronda against Nia and Tamina. And I just wanted to mention here that if you did not notice watching this show, that this Raw was sponsored by Glass.
Nuh-uh.
The world of superheroes will be shattered. Are you ready?
But it actually does look like a good movie.
Glass in theaters this Friday.
I know. He said it about 6 times before the first match.
Yeah. And
in the middle of matches, he'll just break down and say it.
And even in this match, it shrunk the screen and put the trailer in instead of it.
It's like, come on, we get the point.
I don't know how much they were paid for the advert, but whatever it is, they got their money's worth out of them.
Oh God, yeah. It don't matter if it was $10 million. They got the money's worth.
Everyone who watched Raw at any point knew that Glass was in theaters this Friday.
So are you saying it's this Friday?
Yes. Because that was part of the problem, I knew that Glass was coming out, but I couldn't remember what day it was, and Michael Cole was there to constantly remind me. So
I could have sworn it came out on Tuesday.
No, it's Friday, man. That's what Michael Cole told me.
And Michael Cole always right.
Yeah. Yeah, so this Sasha and Ronda teaming, the old opponents teaming.
Yeah, team with your opponent. That way you can have a tag match, blah, blah, blah. I honestly don't care about this match. Yeah. And that's exactly what I wrote.
I didn't take any notes from what actually happened in the match, other than Sasha eventually puts Tamina away with a bank statement. The only thing I did like was that she did it differently, where she did the side Russian leg sweep into the bank statement.
Yeah, I saw that.
Instead of doing the backstabber into it, so that was nice.
But I was kind of disappointed we never saw Rousey in the match.
She was in the match, wasn't she?
I don't remember seeing her in there.
I'm sure she was.
It was because it wasn't a very long match.
No, and I don't think she had long, but I'm pretty sure she was in there. And plus, because
she was, Sasha was going to tag her at one point early on, but didn't. And that was the only time she attempted to tag that I saw.
I cannot definitively say that you are wrong, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong.
I could be. It wouldn't be the first time today.
I feel like I remember seeing Ronda do a takedown or something on Tamina.
Oh, that must have been the only move she did.
Yeah.
I missed it. I blinked. Damn it.
Yeah, so
I mean, I just wanted to see what would happen with the storyline, and obviously not much, except until the end of the match when they were walking away.
So Charlie Caruso comes into the ring to do an interview, and I thought this was dumb. Like, Ronda says it will be her greatest accomplishment to tap out Sasha at the Royal Rumble, and then like Sasha gets all mad about that, and then
took it like an insult, and it's not. I didn't think it was an insult.
Well, the thing is though, is that Ronda was like all apologetic for it.
Yeah.
Which I don't care for. Like, I feel like Ronda needs more edge. Like,
she does. She
like,
needs a backbone.
Yeah, so like her thing, like it should be like, you're really good, Sasha. You're one of the best in this division, but I'm better than you, and I'm gonna prove it. But instead, it's like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
But I mean, I didn't take it like an insult. I took it as Sasha's such a great competitor. It would be the greatest win for Rousey.
Yeah,
that's how I took it.
But it was, in Sasha's mind, it was assuming that she would beat her.
Too much hair dye went to her head. But she needs to redo her hair. You can see her roots.
What hair?
On Sasha.
You mean her wig?
No, it's her hair. It's not a wig.
What do I know? But
I know all about hair.
Sasha goes off on Ronda, says she'll teach Ronda a lesson in how to lose with class. And Sasha says she better get used to not having her way anymore, and says she'll tap out Ronda at the Rumble.
But did you notice what she did when she was walking away?
What?
Threw up the four
horsemen
sign.
I did not see that.
It's as Sasha was walking into the back. She just flat out just went like that to
I did not even notice that.
So it made me think, are they going to start, I mean, could it be starting to set up a feud between the four horsewomen of MMA and WWE?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's been talked about for like the last 2 years, I feel like.
Well, ever since it was rumored that Ronda was going to come in.
Yep.
I mean, before it was even official, just rumored.
Yes.
They started talking about this match.
Yeah.
Which I can see now that pretty much everybody's in at somewhere.
I just hope that that's not the match for WrestleMania.
No, I'm thinking more of like a Survivor Series.
Yeah.
You know, that'll give the others more time to move up and get a footing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, then they can go on the storyline for the Survivor Series.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect. A 4-on-4. Not traditional, because normally it's 5-on-5.
Yeah.
But still,
you could still do the
I think it'd be a hell of a match.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be fun. You have plenty of story to go off of.
And since we want to see it, you know, WWE won't do
it. Well, no, they'll do it. They'll just do it like 2 years too late.
Yeah.
You remember that thing you wanted? Here it is.
They'll bring Rousey out of the retirement home.
So after that, there was a line of jobbers I wrote outside of Vince's office
because not Kurt Hawkins.
Because they were all wanting to vie for the spot that is now vacant to face Lesnar at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And the likes of Kurt Hawkins and Apollo Crews and the B Team are out there. And I
think if they utilized Apollo better, he might have a chance.
Yeah, if he was built up more.
Yeah, he'd have to get built up more, but he's got everything he needs.
Yeah.
He's got the speed, the talent, the strength.
I'm sure they could have a good match.
I mean, could you imagine if either he was
They would just need a reason to care about it.
I was just thinking, could you imagine if Apollo was heel or Lashley was face and they teamed up? That'd be a hell of a tag team.
Yeah.
Just get rid of Leo Rush.
That would be a Vince McMahon idea, too, is that they both look similar, so let's team them.
Yeah, they do look similar.
Yeah, so in the midst of this line, Jerry Lawler is the one that walks out of Vince McMahon's office, and they're in Memphis, so he gets the hometown pop.
But I was disappointed. That's all it was.
Yeah, that's all it was.
I was hoping maybe he'd come out and announce like the main event match or something. You know, because a lot of times they'll do that. They'll bring somebody down.
Well, Corey Graves was like, "Is it going to be Lesnar versus Lawler at the Royal Rumble?"
Yeah.
Doubtful.
Yeah, very doubtful.
I always loved Jerry Lawler matches, though.
Oh, his matches were good. I mean, he always played a heel for the most part, but he did it great.
And then in his later years was when he started doing the face thing. Like,
after he became an announcer.
Yeah, like when he was commentating and wrestling.
Yeah, he'd be a face.
Yeah.
Especially when he was going against Michael Cole.
That's the part I want to forget. But
what the plastic cage that Michael Cole was in?
Yeah. The fact that Cole technically won the WrestleMania match, too.
Yes. Oh, my God.
And it was like 35 minutes long or something ridiculous. Yeah, well, those were dark days.
Yeah. If you don't know what we're talking about at home, just get on the network, YouTube, Facebook.
I couldn't tell you what WrestleMania it is.
It's going to be somewhere between 1 and 34.
Well, it had to have been like early to mid-20s.
Yeah, I'd say maybe 18 to 25.
Well, it definitely was past 18.
Was it past 18?
It was definitely like past 23, too.
Oh.
So it was probably like 25 or 26.
Well, there you go, people at home. There's your homework. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you find it. We'll give you a shout-out.
But just don't watch it. Like, just save yourself. Because it's not good.
It was horrible.
So Sasha and Bayley Sasha and Ronda are arguing backstage and are being separated by their two best friends, Bayley and Natalya, and they manage to separate each other. But then Bayley and Natalya start arguing with each other, saying, "No, my best friend was right. No, my best friend was right.
Friend's right. No."
So then the Riot Squad come in, and they challenge the two to a match if they can find a friend to team with them.
Now, honestly...
And my instant thought was, all right, Ember Moon.
That's what I was just thinking.
Here's your spot.
I was thinking, yeah, Ember Moon, there you go. I mean, that's about the whole roster right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was a nice surprise, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's later.
That's after the next match.
We had the Revival against the Lucha House Party.
Again, except this time...
No Lucha House rules.
Yes, but... we've seen this 100 times.
Yes.
I was not happy with it. I fast forward through most of it just because I've seen everything these 5 people can do.
Yeah. So, before the match, the Revival blame the Lucha House Party for the Revival's loss last week where Dash's foot was on the rope and they could have won the tag team titles, but they didn't.
And they just stood there.
And so they blamed the Lucha House Party for not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
For letting this injustice go. And that's what the basis of the match was. I was just waiting for JoJo to say, actually JoJo's not even there anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I just noticed like the last 2 weeks I think JoJo hasn't been there. It's been like Mike Rome or whatever his name is.
Is she pregnant? No, I'm just curious because I don't know. I thought maybe she was at one point.
I don't know.
And I figured if she was, that'd be why she's not on TV, because she's...
I have not seen anything on why she is not on TV.
Maybe we should ask Bray.
I just noticed that she wasn't.
We'll get a hold of Bray Wyatt, we'll ask him.
Yeah. Well, they're both not on TV.
Well, I know.
Well, Bray hasn't been on TV for 6 months, probably.
Been a while. Whenever Hardy was last on.
Yeah. Anyway, so during this match, we go backstage to the interviewer, and who is outside Vince's office, and she's interviewing everyone outside of Vince's office.
Is that Asha?
I don't remember. They all look the same at this point, because there's a new one too, and I don't even know her name. I think it's like Kayla or something.
Oh, okay.
But
why are they being sexist? What, Mean Gene's not around no more, so we can't have a man?
Well, they did. Tom Phillips used to do it.
He's commentator.
Yeah, but he used to do this.
And that's why they put him on commentary. Because he sucked.
Yeah, they moved him up to a more difficult position.
Yeah, but you don't hear much of him on TV. It's a lot of Corey.
It's like white noise when he does talk.
And yeah, if he does talk, it's blah, 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 blah. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, pretty much. So the interviewer, she interviews Apollo and Hawkins and the B team, all about facing Lesnar.
The B team, the B stands for Brock.
I think Hawkins said that like the appeal of that match would be the streak versus Brock.
Oh, that's the wrong streak, dude.
His first win could be against Brock Lesnar.
He's had a win. Didn't he have one like the very first match he ever had?
Or well, the first win since his losing streak.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
He's like 1 in 400.
And so who should randomly appear here but EC3?
Yeah.
And he appears, and the interviewer just like holds the mic to him, but he just stands there, and then he goes away. What a freaking debut!
Yeah, what's the point of showing them in the back if they're not going to come out front?
So, another thing is that, to me, this instantly associates EC3 with everyone else who was there, who are all lower card guys, which to me tells me, don't care about this guy.
Well, until he wrestles a match, he is a low card guy.
Yeah, but you get you're not supposed to present someone that way when they're first coming into the main roster.
No, I get that. But until they actually wrestle on the main roster, everybody's a low card person. Just depends where they get inserted.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. Some people like these debuts I've seen, but I thought all of them, pretty much all of them, sucked.
Now when we get to the next match, I was kind of impressed with that one.
Yeah, there was one that was okay, but
it's probably the same one I'm talking about.
Yeah. So let's see. So the Revival beats the Lucha House Party with a suspended DDP or DDT, not DDP.
A suspended Diamond Dallas Page.
I don't know if it was a suspended DDT or
just
just a DDT. So I think that's actually what it was. But whatever the Lucha guy was had his foot on the rope, but whoever was on the outside pushed it off. I can't remember if it was Dash or Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that leads me to my next topic, though, is that it was reported this week that both the Revival and Maria and Mike Kanellis have all four requested their release.
Yes.
And Mike and Maria, they haven't been on TV in forever.
Long time.
I think Mike is on 205 Live.
Didn't something happen with Maria or something? Like she got...
Well, she was pregnant,
yeah,
but she's been back for a while now.
Oh, has she?
Yeah.
But I mean, they haven't done anything, neither one of them, since they came back together a couple of years ago.
Yeah, even before that, they had the one program with Sami Zayn, and it lasted 2 weeks, and then they did nothing.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Maria. I did, when she was first in WWE. But since she's came back, there's no reason to get behind either one of them.
Mike, who was known as Mike Bennett on the Indies, he had some stuff with New Japan and ROH, I think. He seems like he's a talented guy.
They're just not using him right.
Yeah, and there's only so many people they can use, and he just got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, he found that big crack that a lot of them find, and he was overlooked.
But the one I do want to talk about is this Revival one.
Yeah.
Because apparently, and this was originally reported by Bodyslam.net, which was something I wasn't very familiar with, but they were the originators of this story. They were the ones that broke it, that the Revival asked for their release. And later, I believe PW Insider supported it, but the main one was Meltzer from The Observer, who added that not only did they request their release, but they did it immediately following this match, as soon as they got to the back.
And I can't blame them, though, really.
So, what I was thinking about before I just went over my notes and recalled all of this match, was, what was it specifically about this match that pissed them off that much? And then I realized that what probably pissed them off is that they're having this match and we're not even focusing on it because we're split-screened interviews outside of Vince's office.
Yeah.
That...
It's just disrespectful.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, that's you're going to get a match on Monday Night Raw, but only half the screen's going to be you.
Yeah.
The other half's going to be crap interviews about people that don't matter.
Yes, that So that makes sense to me. Like, that's what I think probably irks them the most. Like, I'm sure it was a built-up of a lot of things, like how they haven't lived up to the potential that they have.
Well, they haven't been booked
and that was
properly.
Sort of like the breaking point, I think.
Yeah. I mean, because they haven't been used properly since they came in.
Yeah. So,
maybe they just need to go back to NXT.
Or...
You don't have to be on the main roster.
Well, they'd be better off, but, or...
All In, or AEW.
AEW.
Yeah. Which I would not be surprised. I mean, it seems to be a very popular topic right now.
And I'll tell you what, though, a Revival versus Young Bucks match I would love to watch.
That'd be good.
Just the contrasting styles.
Yeah.
Like, the Young Bucks are just, like, super kick party and high-flying, and then the Revival are the traditional.
You know what that is? It's the Revival versus Lucha House Party. Just without the mask. Or the rolls.
Except better.
Except maybe better.
Yeah. So that's what we have there. So 4 people all at the same time, possibly. I mean, WWE doesn't have to release them. I don't know when their contracts are up, but
they usually do. They usually try to release them though if they're asking for it, especially if they're not being used.
Yeah, but then sometimes they don't, just so you
can't go anywhere else.
Yeah, like with Neville, they froze his contract for the longest time until they finally did release him.
Mm-hmm.
And you could go back to Daniel Bryan, like they froze his contract, and even though he couldn't wrestle, they still made him work off the rest of his contract.
Yeah,
until I guess he's re-signed now, probably.
I believe he was re-signed not that long ago, a few months maybe, if that.
Yeah, but good for him though. I'm sure he has more leverage now and has a better deal with more leeway,
especially now that he's heel.
Yeah,
I think maybe that might have been the factor of him re-signing was, can I go heel? If I can't, I'm gone.
Yeah,
and that might be what made him re-sign, is maybe a little more creative control on what he's doing.
Yeah, it shows in his promos that he has creative liberty,
like that concession stand last week.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
when's the last time we've seen something like that?
Not Attitude Era, a while.
Little after that.
Yeah, very true. So we had Vince McMahon out next. He comes down to the ring and he's supposed to announce who is facing Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And immediately he's interrupted by John Cena.
Yes.
And Cena has a cool promo here. Except he said his opening line here is that the first thing I noted was that 20 years ago he says every big name left Vince. Stone Cold, The Rock, all left him. Brock Lesnar wanted to go play football. And I just have to question Cena's sense of time, because 20 years ago was 1998, or 1999, technically. And Rock, Stone Cold were the top guys, and Brock Lesnar was not there yet.
97.
Well, he came back, though, right?
He eventually came back. I don't know when, but he did leave in 97.
Okay.
Because that's the issue there was a big issue going on with that.
Right. That's where he took his ball and went home, and that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to put over Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Stone Cold did leave, but yes, he came back at some point.
Okay.
So that one I could say is fair. Brock
wasn't even there yet.
Yeah, I don't think he was even there in 98.
No, he wasn't. He didn't debut until
01, 02?
Yeah, around there.
So early 2000s.
Yeah. So, but Vince begged everyone in that locker room, Cena says, for someone to step up. And Cena told him then, give me a chance and I will not let you down. And so Cena also says that he's missed birthdays, funerals, weddings, all for this.
Well, it wasn't his wedding.
That's true. And he says that not for sympathy, but because when you love this so much, you are willing to make it your life.
And I agree with that, though.
Yeah.
To an extent. I mean, you don't have to, miss every major event because of work. But if you love your work and you're devoted to it, it won't matter to you.
Right. Yeah. And Cena's whole thing here was pretty good, I thought. And Cena says he wants Lesnar at the Royal Rumble for the chance to be the 17-time WWE champion, he says.
And I want to see it.
But, like, he should have worded that saying, like, 17-time world champion, because that title is not the WWE title.
Yeah.
So, that was something that I noted. But
and I didn't realize it. Well, I guess we'll get to it later, but I didn't realize he's never had the Universal title.
Yeah.
I forgot. It's been several years since he's had a heavyweight title.
Well, the last one he had was the WWE title he won in, like, 2016?
Was it 16?
Yeah, he beat AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble that year. And then dropped it the next month in the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, that's why I don't remember.
To Bray Wyatt.
Because he didn't hold it very long.
Yeah, that was his 16th.
Okay.
I think that was Royal Rumble 2017, so like exactly 2 years ago.
I just want him to win one more. I want him to get the record, then he can move to Hollywood and be gone. That's it.
We've had this discussion before. I don't really care, to be honest with you. If they do a cool story with it, I'm not going to be upset about it, but I don't. If they're gonna do it, I'd like him to have like a full run, like not just
good 4 or 5 months with it.
Yeah, like not just one
pay-per-view to the next.
and be able to get somebody else over off the back of it too would be preferable.
Now, see, it'd be nice. Now I won't say nothing because we have to get through who he's going against.
Yeah, so
I'll put that on hold.
Okay, just remember.
Yeah, that was hard to do.
So, and Cena ends the promo. He has something no one else does in the locker room. Ruthless aggression.
Oh,
damn it, pal.
I thought I was going to say a Hollywood career.
The Miz is there.
The Miz is on SmackDown.
Yeah, he's a Hollywood straight-to-DVD star.
Straight to DVD star.
So, Drew McIntyre.
Is that like a B-list movie star?
Drew McIntyre interrupts this, and Drew gets in Vince's face and says that this is what ruthless aggression looks like.
Yeah.
And then
it would have been better if he would have slapped McMahon. That's what ruthless aggression looks like.
Yeah, but AJ Styles just did that.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem, because it was just done. But it would have been nice if he did something to back that up besides, oh, well, I've got ruthless aggression like I did 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like a disease.
I'm afraid you have ruthless aggression.
I give your career 10 years.
So Corbin is the one that comes out next.
Why?
And he's still talking about Braun Strowman and says he's not the type of guy to have a lawyer on speed dial, even after being threatened by Braun. Mm-hmm. And, like, I wrote after this, does anyone even use speed dial?
I don't think so.
Like, even when they first had speed dial, did anyone really use it?
Oh, I did. Back when they first had it on, like, some of the...
Did they have it on, like, the original phones, or was it a cell phone thing?
You could have it like on cordless phones,
mm-hmm.
And then of course, when the cell phones actually came out, probably before you were born, my first phone I had speed dial, and you set it to like you hold button number 1 and it dials. Button number 2 is another number.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was speed dial when it first came out.
Right.
Now it's just look at a menu and click the name.
Yeah, there's no point in having a speed dial.
I don't think
it's just as quick to get to the name anyway.
I think the only speed dial I know of is 911, and that's if you hold 9, it automatically calls.
No, I didn't even know that.
At least on my phone it does, because I accidentally did it.
Oh, okay.
But it might. I mean, I believe that's the same for a lot of cell phone companies now. Is hold 9 and it automatically calls 911.
Okay.
So don't do that. Just saying.
I wonder how many people have done that one.
Well, let's hope more do. Let's see if it works.
We're gonna get in trouble with the law now. So Baron wants the title match, obviously, as everyone else coming out here does.
Yeah.
And then Finn Balor comes out.
Imagine that.
And he says that he's the only one out here to have ever been Universal Champion.
A good point.
And so...
For a day.
Vince says that Finn is a good competitor, but he says, quote, there is a lot of beef out here.
Yeah.
Beef. Like it was one of the freaking old Wendy's commercials.
Like I'm at a cattle auction or something.
Or like the old Wendy's commercials with the where's the beef?
We have the beef. Oh, wait, that's Arby's.
No. And it's...
Please don't roast us, Wendy's.
Yeah, I know.
You guys get crazy on there.
Yeah. Don't let Wendy's Twitter see this.
Oh, wait, I'm glad I don't have Twitter.
Yeah. No, like the old Wendy's commercials were like, where's the beef?
Yeah.
Apparently it was in this ring.
But he did have a point, though. And it's sad because it's bad when Vince McMahon is beefier than your competitors.
Yeah.
I mean,
but, like, Finn is, like, in great shape.
Oh, I'm not saying he's not. He is ripped.
Yeah.
He is in good shape.
So that's where I wonder what the term beef...
But just the size. Look at the size of, like, the arms.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got good muscle. But he doesn't have the physique looking like Cena or McIntyre.
Well, neither does Baron Corbin.
No, but he's got the height.
I mean, there is a reason he wears a shirt.
Yeah, and there's a reason he stopped going shirtless. That's because management got to him, and he just too many donuts and coffee.
Yeah. So, but this whole night was built around getting Finn Balor over.
Yes,
which was nice. But I guess the one flaw with this is that you're blatantly pointing out a weakness, I guess, in Finn Balor, like saying that he's small, like directly.
Oh my God, it's a Daniel Bryan Big Cass storyline.
Yeah, like you're directly averting to him being small.
Well, that sets him up as the underdog.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's the only reason I could think they would do it.
That's why I liked it, but I did see some people that didn't like that. And I can understand that because normally I wouldn't like if they're pointing out a flaw in someone just for the sake of it. But that there was actually a story within this.
Yeah, there was a reason. It's not just just to make him look small.
Yeah, there
was an actual reason.
Yes,
which we'll get to.
And so Vince also says, he says Finn is a good competitor, but against Lesnar and everyone else here, he doesn't know. And so Finn just says, let's be honest, you never believed in me. And he says that Vince is stubborn and he's not going to change his mind, so how about I show you? And he punches Corbin in the face.
Which is always fun to see Corbin get hit in the face.
Yeah, and so then Drew McIntyre headbutts Cena off the back of this, and McIntyre lays out Finn, and then he lays out Cena with a Claymore. And Vince announces a fatal four-way where the winner will face Lesnar, and that'll be the main event. And I do have to say another thing with this promo is that I feel like Vince does not care at all about his promos anymore.
No. What? He don't need to.
He's
just
like
800 years old. He's got all the money he needs in the world.
He does not have any enthusiasm behind his words at all.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's like he feels like this is more of a chore that he has to do now.
In a way, it is, because with McMahon showing up every couple weeks or so, he gets a hell of a pop.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see McMahon at an event.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I would go to some of these smaller Raw and SmackDown shows, because I might be able to see Vince McMahon.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one person I've never seen in all the events I've been to.
Right.
I've never seen McMahon on live.
No. In all two of the events I've been to, I have not seen him either.
I mean, even when I went to the Armageddon pay-per-view 15 years ago, no McMahon. It was all Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. So after this, Jinder Mahal runs into Vince backstage.
Oh, God, this. Oh, yeah.
I wanted to mention during this, too. this is somewhat unrelated, but it'll tie back in. The NFL playoffs on Sunday. I talked about how I had money on the Chargers to win the Super Bowl, and they unfortunately lost to the Patriots. Just like everybody always loses to the Patriots.
Did they check the ball?
Not yet.
No, okay.
But what this relates to with Jinder Mahal is that Phillip Rivers, the quarterback for the Chargers, like as they're getting destroyed pretty much, and Phillip Rivers, they're just blitzing him all to hell, and his offensive line is sucking, and he's getting hit every play, and so he's on the sideline, and the camera shows him, and he's just like doing like deep breathing, like with his eyes closed, like he's like meditating almost.
Shanti.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of. Like
that's great.
I wanted Jinder Mahal just to see like the picture of that and just be like, now here is someone who cares about their tranquility.
When you're on Twitter, take a screenshot of that and tag him in.
I meant to, but I never.
You
did.
really should, because that'd be awesome if he replied.
Yeah, because I did see the picture floating around on Twitter too.
Yeah, you should definitely Shanti that up.
Shanti. Poor Phillip.
Make sure you tag WWE and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
And the NFL, just to mess with them.
So, anyway, Jinder wants the match with Lesnar at Royal Rumble. Because...
he was robbed a couple years ago.
Yeah, because I think he said that... the WWE Universe was robbed of the potential dream match of me versus Brock Lesnar.
I think the only one dreaming of this match is the 1.3 billion in India, because
even they don't care.
yeah, that's true.
That's why they took the title off of him, because it wasn't working.
Yeah, this was not a dream match for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if I was dead. This would not be a dream match.
Yeah, so Vince says he'll give him a chance by letting him pick any member in the current Fatal 4-Way match, and if he can beat them in a one-on-one match, he'll take their place in the match.
Yes.
And to set this story that we're telling throughout the show even more, Jinder chooses Finn Balor, which shows that he thinks that he is the weakest of the four in there.
And honestly, I would too. Just by looking at him. You know, if I see a picture of all four of them, I'm going to look at Balor and go, he's the weakest. Just by looks.
That would have picked Corbin.
Just by looks, just because Corbin's got the size.
Yeah.
So just looking at it, I'd pick Balor.
Okay.
Now, if I did my homework, Corbin's gone. I mean, it wouldn't take much to beat him. Just make sure you throw him out the ring to turn around.
Yeah, that's very true. I've got you scouted now.
Yeah. See, I can beat Corbin. Come on.
So we have the Riot Squad versus Bayley, Natalya,
and a surprise,
Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Not Ember Moon.
A nice debut for Nikki Cross.
Yes.
And, I've never really seen her. I don't watch NXT or anything, so...
I haven't seen a lot of her matches. Like, I've seen a few. Like, I remember the match she had with Shayna Baszler on one of the takeovers, and the stuff she did with Sanity. And
I wonder if they're going to team her back up with Sanity.
I hope not.
I hope not. We don't.
It's just going to drag her down.
Yeah.
But this is where Cole tells us that all of the signees from NXT will appear on both Raw and SmackDown until they are signed to one brand.
Yeah, basically after the Royal Rumble, we'll find out where they're going.
Which, it might even be longer.
And it could be after that.
It could be WrestleMania, even.
That could be. I just figured because...
Well, I took this as WWE speak for, hey, we still don't know what we're going to do with these guys. So they're just going to appear throughout both shows until we figure it out.
Well, it almost, to me, makes it seem like they're using these this week and next week to see what spot they'd be better at, SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah.
It's more of a trial than you're going to get put here.
Which I don't mind.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Because
I wish they would have done some of these segments differently.
Well, I mean, think about it, though. This might be the only time we see Nikki Cross on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
For a long time. And the fact that she's teaming with Natty and Bayley, I mean, not really caring about that. But it's the only match she'll have on Raw for months to years. Possibly.
Right. That's true.
And some people don't.
Possibly.
I mean, not everybody's a diehard fan like we are.
Mm.
Some may only watch Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. So, I mean, if you're watching one, you don't get to see the other people.
Right.
So this is just a good way to get her introduced to everybody.
Well, that's one of the things I did want to mention, too, that I forgot about earlier, is that one of the things that if I were doing it, and I'm not doing it, so I can't say, but the way they're doing it, they have 6 different people, right? I think 6 that they are debuting. There was Nikki, Lacey Evans, EC3,
Lars,
Heavy Machinery, and
Lars.
Yeah, Lars.
That's 5.
And
I think that was it. I think it was 3 men, 2 women.
Okay. Well, whatever the case. Like, for me, it's too much all at once. I feel like it should be more like debuting one at a time so that you give the new audience that doesn't know these people the chance to just showcase them.
Yeah, that way they can make up their mind about them.
Because when you debut all of them at once, now the audience has so many different new things to try to process all at once.
But, I mean, it depends how they're introducing them.
Yeah.
Like how they did with Heavy Machinery on Raw.
Yeah, we will discuss that.
Which we'll get to. And on SmackDown.
Yeah. I liked the SmackDown version much better.
But I liked how they introduced them, how it wasn't just a straight up tag match.
Right.
I like how they introduced them that way. And EC3, I mean, he hasn't really said much.
No, he hasn't said anything, in fact. On SmackDown, he looked at himself in a mirror, and on here, he stood in front of a microphone and said nothing.
But think about it. They're introducing, 5 people at once, but in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we haven't seen Lacey Evans out behind the background yet.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, have we?
Yeah, she was randomly in the background on Raw at some point. I haven't noted.
Well, I mean, she was in the background, but she wasn't out front on the
No, and then on SmackDown, she was watching the match on the television.
You may not know, but Lacey Evans is also on Glow.
I do remember hearing that.
And there's also several current and former wrestlers on there.
Mm-hmm.
But she was actually one of the originals from Glow Season 1 and 2.
Okay.
Which a lot of people may not know if you don't watch it.
That's good.
Just little useless info I'm full of.
Yeah. So this match, though, the 6-woman tag, Nikki Cross just kind of runs wild throughout this, and at one point she just decides to try to take the Riot Squad 3-on-1.
Yeah.
And she the finish is she hits a suspended neck breaker, and Bayley tags in, and then Bayley hits the elbow drop for the win on Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
And my only thing is why didn't Nikki get the pin?
That's true. But I mean, I enjoyed the match.
No, it was fine.
I get what you mean though. She kind of should have got the pin.
Mm-hmm.
But
they could have done the same thing.
At the same time, it kind of shows more of a team spirit.
Yeah.
But I was actually impressed with her. Not ever watching her before.
Yeah.
She reminds me of an early Dean Ambrose.
Right.
The way she just flies around the ring, don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of what her character sort of is.
She's like the lunatic fringette.
Yeah. I think she's meant to be a little more psycho, though. The one thing I do remember from the Shayna feud is that she enjoyed pain.
Okay.
Because that was the finish to their match, is that Shayna has her in the sleeper hold that she does, the choke, and Nikki is laughing as she passes out.
Oh my god, that's awesome!
Yeah, that was one thing I did like about her.
I do like, let Nikki play.
Yeah,
I love that.
Come play with Nikki.
I love it, and her accent.
Yes, I do enjoy it.
Which means they need to team her up with McIntyre, just because they got so much in common.
Yeah.
That'll be the next season on Mixed Match Challenge. McIntyre and Nikki Cross.
Yeah. In fact, here is exactly where I had Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans was randomly placed backstage as Finn Balor was walking to the ring area.
Yeah.
For his match with Jinder. And that is when we had Jinder versus Finn. Which there wasn't a lot to.
No, it wasn't. I mean, hell of a beatdown before the bell.
Yeah, so whichever Singh was not chucked by Braun Strowman earlier.
Whichever one wasn't smeared.
Yeah, that was the one that, as Finn was doing his pose on the turnbuckle, came up and grabbed his foot so that Jinder could
knee him in the head on the other side.
And beat up on him. And Finn got worked over for a while, and then he had his comeback, and then he got Jinder with the coup de grace.
Yeah, nothing major.
No, not a lot.
But there's a reason for that.
Yeah. So then this is where, sort of out of the blue, we had Bobby Lashley versus Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title.
And I'll admit, except for towards the end, it was a badass match.
It was pretty good. I thought this was
I didn't like how it ended.
No,
not with who won, but just the way.
Okay.
I don't care. Well, I mean, we're talking about so I don't care if Lashley won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like how Rush had to interfere so much for him to win.
Well,
and I know that's what he's there for.
No,
but in a title match, it's just ridiculous. I'm a fan who pays money to see them sometimes. I want to see a match. I don't want to see outside interference, especially in a title match. Once in a while maybe, but he interferes way too damn much in this match.
Yeah, he was very involved,
and it's to the point where it should have been more of like a what I can't really say a
one-on-one on two.
I mean, in a way, yeah. In a way, it would be.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he was in the match so much, he might as well have been. He was in the damn ring, so he should have been in the match.
Yeah. Overall, though, I thought that throughout most of this match, they did a good job of portraying Lashley as, this unstoppable beast, because he was so dominant that Seth and Dean had to team together to try to take him out.
And of course, that started the rumor mill of, oh my God, it's the Shield coming back. No, they just teamed up to get rid of that big motherfucker. Sorry, edit that out.
I don't have time to edit stuff.
Oh well, it's our podcast.
Yeah. The finish comes with Rollins going for a superplex on Ambrose, and Lashley pulls Rollins down from the turnbuckle into an electric chair position. And Ambrose comes flying off the ropes at Rollins. And I think what was supposed to happen is that Rollins was supposed to flip over and land on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
But he sort of just landed on his knees.
Yeah.
Which, that's not an easy thing to do, to come off from that position and land on your feet.
Yeah, I mean, you only got about, 5.5 foot? So.
Yeah. But nonetheless, right after that, Seth gets up and he takes out Lashley with the super kick.
No, he didn't.
Huh?
You watched that super kick. You talking about the super kick in the corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch that super kick again.
I wasn't.
Missed him by a foot.
Okay.
Lashley fell too early.
Okay.
And, you can see.
I didn't even notice.
You can see a good gap between his foot and his head. You can actually see the gap and see the audience between it.
Mm. I guess it wasn't bad enough that I wrote it down. But either way.
Yeah, that's horrible note-taking on your part.
After that, he hit a super kick on Dean, and he's about to go for the stomp on Dean, but Lio Rush comes in and pulls the top rope down, and Seth tumbles to the floor. And that leads to Lashley hitting the spear on Dean Ambrose for the win.
Yeah.
And shockingly, I would say, Bobby Lashley is the Intercontinental Champion.
I mean, it is shocking that they let him win.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what has Ambrose done since he won the title? Nothing.
And what has Bobby Lashley done in the build-up to him winning the title?
Let Lio Rush do everything for him.
Not even just that. Nobody really cared about Lashley.
I think everybody expected either Ambrose or Rollins to win.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody even expected Lashley to win.
Yeah.
But what does this do for the Rumble for a rematch? And who's going to get it?
Well, I was told that there are no rematches.
Well, that's what we're told.
But they keep giving people rematches.
Depending on who you are, you get one.
Yeah.
So who's going to get the rematch? Is it going to be Ambrose, since it was his title, or is it going to be another triple threat?
Yeah.
Or make it a four-way, just because we got Lio Rush out there.
Because that's part of it, too, is that I think throughout this match, they wanted it to look like Seth was the one that was always coming close to getting the win.
Yeah.
And especially at the end, getting robbed out of the win.
Very true.
So it would feel like they're setting up for Lashley versus Seth.
Which is, I mean, I could get behind that.
Yeah, but I feel like I've seen
he super kicks the hell out of Lio Rush before the match starts.
I feel like I've seen that match a lot, though, at this point.
Well, I mean, yes. I guess it depends how they do the match.
Yeah.
If they do it like they have been, then it'll be pointless.
I think Seth is also going to transition more into the main event scene later on.
He's a main eventer.
Because the thing that is supposedly happening is Seth versus Brock at Mania. So,
yeah, which I can get behind that.
I would see Seth winning the Rumble, probably.
Just to make it a reason for him to be at Mania.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay.
And
which sucks because I really wanted R-Truth to win.
Yeah, let's get over that. Okay, so this next segment, which I found hilarious for all of the wrong reasons.
Oh, is this my girl?
Yeah, so some geek from production or whatever is knocking on Alexa Bliss's dressing room door.
Yes.
To give her latte or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And to inform her that her segment is next. And
in his defense, though, he announced himself, and nothing was said.
Yeah. So, but after no one answers, he decides to open the door, which I do not believe is proper etiquette. But
well, if you're expecting me to bring your coffee, I'm not going to sit there and wait outside your door. I'm going to sit there and go in and give it to you.
Okay.
Because that's my job. I'm an assistant.
Okay. Fair enough. And that's the other part, is that Alexa is standing like 2 feet away from the door. Yeah. I don't know how she did not hear it.
Did you even knock?
Yeah. And so Alexa is like in the midst of changing.
And why? She's not wrestling.
Well, I don't know.
Why does she need to change when all she does is interviews? I mean, come on.
I don't know, dude. Don't put too much thought into it.
Well, I mean, this just brings me back to like the old days when they did that all the time. Yeah. You know, somebody walking into the dressing room while a female's getting dressed.
Yeah.
And it's just this. There's no reason for it.
Yeah. So Alexa is covering herself with the shirt she was about to put on. And this was the funniest part to me, though, is that the dude still tries to hand her coffee.
Yeah, I
know. She's holding.
Put it down over there. Yeah, just try to.
That's what she got really mad about. Like, don't hand it to me.
Yeah, I know. Oh, that was a good part.
And so, this only got better because Alexa is like looking petrified as the camera fades away, and it immediately goes to commentary. And all 3 of the commentators have like this disgusted looks on their face. And I even went back because I had to watch this twice because I was laughing so freaking hard. And as soon as the camera cuts to the commentary table, Corey Graves has his hand on Michael Cole's shoulder as they are both looking disgusted. And this is where it gets hilarious, though, is that Renee has to awkwardly, and I mean awkwardly, transition into another trailer for Glass.
Yeah.
The world of superheroes as we know it, she says. And I felt so bad for Renee.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward for her.
And this is something that we're going to talk about on both this show and on SmackDown with the Mandy Rose thing, is that it's kind of an Attitude Era, quote-unquote, esque sort of thing. And they're two different circumstances, but I didn't really care for this because it was like, with the Mandy Rose thing, they were doing it for a storyline, at least.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good storyline or not is to be said, but it's for a storyline. This Alexa Bliss thing was just done for the sake of it.
And I'm okay with that.
I didn't care for it.
But, I mean, I'm biased towards Alexa Bliss. You know, I mean, I'm okay with what they did, but I get your point that there was no point to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, like, try to think of it like they're trying to do, like, it's like they're
regurgitating the 90s?
Well, no, but they're talking out of both sides of their mouth because they want to push women's equality and all this PR stuff, and then you're still doing that stuff. So it's like,
you can't read too much into it.
I don't know. It's just,
it's fantasy.
I get that, but I don't know. It just,
I see what you mean.
It just seems like, well, we're gonna do this stuff so it looks good in our PR and all that, but then we'll do this other stuff too because we feel like it.
And honestly, we'll get to it on Raw or on SmackDown. I'll wait for SmackDown.
Okay.
It's a Mandy thing, so I'll wait for SmackDown.
Okay. And so after this is where we have a moment of bliss, the top show.
Yes.
Looking
gorgeous as ever.
Which that previous segment did not even lead into anything that Alexa said during this, or
had nothing to do with it.
It was just completely random.
Which maybe it was just for comedic factor, kill some time in between matches.
I can tell you what it is that Vince thought it was funny.
Probably, because Vince is a horn dog.
That's what it comes down to.
Go Vince.
And so, randomly, Alexa announces that at the Elimination Chamber, there will be 3 teams from Raw and 3 teams from SmackDown that will compete for the new women's tag team titles.
Yes.
And she displays them.
Yes.
She uncovers them. And
what's your first reaction?
I liked the look of them. They were different to all of the rest of the titles, which I liked.
They look better than the men's.
Yes.
I think they're one of the best tag team titles I've seen in history.
Every single title that WWE has right now, it has such a basic look.
Yeah, it does.
Except like the Intercontinental title, and I guess the United States title.
Well, the US title, that's because it has color in it.
Yeah, they have their own distinct looks, but all the other ones are like all the same basic layouts, just with different colors.
And it might be a different, maybe engraving on the picture, but it's still like a round picture.
Yeah.
I like these. I really enjoyed looking at them. I mean, they look really good.
Yeah, they were nice. And so this leads to through all this, like, unveiling the titles, it leads to an interview with Paul Heyman.
Sort of.
And I dare to say that this might have been the worst Paul Heyman segment of all time.
Probably.
For no fault of his own.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his fault.
So, as Paul Heyman is cutting his promo, talking about Brock Lesnar and all 4 of his possible opponents,
yeah,
Otis Dozovic, random of Heavy Machinery,
yes,
just randomly appears behind the titles.
And if you don't know who that is, that's the one that don't talk very good.
Yes.
It's the one you can't understand very much.
So, he is just mumbling away, and Paul Heyman is like, "Excuse me,
yeah,
can I help you?" And Alexa tries to make Otis go away, and eventually,
a moment of bliss, not a moment of Otis.
Yeah, and so eventually Tucker Knight comes out, his partner, to try to get rid of him, and some agents and stuff even come out and
the Men in Black show up.
Yeah, get him out of there, and so. Like, I actually, like, pieced together sort of a reason for this after I watched it a second time. Because one of the things that Otis said that you can hardly make out because he's just going... But one of the things he says is, "Ooh, pretty lady, ooh."
Mm.
So I am to believe that Otis saw the segment with Alexa Bliss and he was turned on by it. And so he went out there.
Okay. Right, I'll take that because there's no other explanation. There's no other reason.
Yeah. So, ooh, pretty lady. Ooh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I had to laugh at it. And just the way Bliss
So
and Heyman were looking at each other when it ended.
Yeah,
and they were like, what the hell just happened?
Because it just ends unannounced.
Is it Balor that came out?
Yeah, I don't remember which one.
I think it was Balor that came out.
Yeah. Whoever's music for the main event hits.
Yeah.
And they just have to exit stage left.
Yeah, and they're still on the stage looking at each other, and here comes Balor, or whoever it was.
Yeah, they just both look at each other like, oh, well, I guess we have to leave now.
I guess our time's up. Until next week. Same Bliss time, same Bliss channel. I hope she won't steal my tagline.
So, our main event now is Balor versus Corbin versus Cena versus McIntyre, and the winner facing Brock Lesnar.
Who did you think was going to win before the match started?
Well, with the way they set it up, I had to believe that Balor was going to win.
Oh, really? You actually thought that he was?
Well, if you would have told me before this show, I would have figured McIntyre would have won. But the way they set it up with having him have the match before then, and the promo with Vince, like, my thought was, if Balor doesn't win, then he's going to look like a total chump right now.
Yeah.
So he kind of has to win.
I mean, knowing wrestling like we do, yes, it was kind of obvious Finn was going to win, but who were you hoping to win? Who did you want to win?
I mean, it would have to be between Balor and McIntyre, but
you don't want Cena to get number 17?
I wouldn't have complained about Cena winning.
But he would have been your third choice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so.
Okay. I was just curious. We talk about a lot of stuff, but some little stuff like this we don't actually get into very often.
I'm sure you had like Cena first and McIntyre second.
Of course I wanted Cena to win because I want him to get number 17.
Yeah.
That's a given. That's well known. It's documented.
Yeah.
After that, yes, it was McIntyre and then Balor and then Corbin. Because Corbin...
Well, at least we universally agree that Corbin is last in this list.
I mean, Corbin just doesn't... He almost needs to go to NXT and make a name for himself again.
Well,
because corporate Corbin's done with.
Yeah.
So he needs a new gimmick.
It's weird. Like, I like Corbin, but he's kind of
stale
in no man's land right now.
Yeah, I mean, since he got fired, there's no reason to have the suit. There's no reason to act like you're a corporate. There's nothing else for him to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even as a GM, there was nothing for him to do because he did a crappy job.
Well, they scripted him to do it.
Well, yes. Yeah, I know that. No, man, it's all real.
Well, that's what they tried to make you think.
I know. Back in the day, they could.
When the McMahons all came out and just blamed Corbin.
Yeah. You got to look. Back in the day, when people didn't realize it was scripted and kayfabe wasn't real, characters were just characters and not who the people were. Mm-hmm. They actually had to keep that crap up even off air. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people nowadays don't realize that because all of them are on social media and there's TV shows. But back in the day, it was, if you were a heel, you were a heel every day. In public.
If you go back to like the 60s and 70s.
Even in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is back then, if you threatened the business with exposing it, like...
Oh, yeah. You were screwed.
They would want to kill you.
You were blacklisted. You'd never work again.
Yeah.
But you would be signed just so you can't work. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, now, of course, like, once the mid-90s and the internet came out, and I'd say by the late 90s, it was more well-known that kayfabe was fake.
Yeah.
But, I mean, could you imagine trying to keep up that persona day in and day out when it's not you? Mm-hmm. That's got to be hard.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a good, nice guy and you've got to try and play an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, I could play that easy. All I got to do is wake up.
Yeah.
But
I remember Jericho talked about, like, in his run in 2008 when he did the whole thing with Shawn Michaels and he was the suit heel that used big words and that he committed to it the way that they would back then.
Yeah.
And, like, he talked about, like, a few incidents that happened, like there at I think he said it was Madison Square Garden, like the way the arena is set up, that the wrestlers have to sort of enter in like the same general area that a fan would.
Oh.
And so he says that he was like on an elevator with a kid and his dad, and like the kid's asking him for an autograph, and Jericho doesn't even say anything. He just looks straight ahead, and then the dad gets all pissed off, like, "You're too good to sign an autograph for my son." And Jericho just doesn't say anything until his floor comes up, and then he leaves.
I hope he got him an autograph after that, though. I would hope so.
I'm sure he didn't.
I'm sure he didn't, but I mean, you would hope he would. Making some kid cry or something.
Because his whole reasoning was like, when that whole crowd is booing me, I don't want that one kid to be like, "Oh, well, he's a nice guy.
Yeah,
he signed my thing."
Okay, well, I can see that, and I give credit to Jericho for playing it.
Yeah,
all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine how much better the shows would be if they did that now?
Yeah,
we wouldn't have this Rousey, Burt, and Sasha teaming up crap.
Well, I think there is still a way to do it today, though, in that, like, people do buy in. Like, even if they don't believe, they can momentarily suspend their disbelief in the sake of a story.
Yes.
If they have good reason to. Like the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano storyline is a great example of that. Everyone knows Tommaso Ciampa is not a dick in real life.
Well, I don't, because I don't watch him.
Well, I don't know that, but assumingly he's not the same character, and everyone knows that.
And most of them are.
But they still treat him with F.U. Ciampa as he comes out and all that. So it's still possible.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, I mean, you've got the same people that every time Kurt Angle or John Cena comes out, they just start saying you suck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these people are doing that, and they don't even know why. They don't know when it started or where it started or anything. They just know, oh, well, wait, the guy next to me is going to say you suck. I'm going to say you suck. How about some backstory? You know, I mean, play it. I want them to play it how they used to. I don't want to see backstage where the two people that were just fighting are back there hugging.
Right.
Because that's how they do things. Because they're all friends. That's great. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Show me what you want. Show me that you're a face. Show me they're a heel.
Yeah.
Don't show me you're both fake.
I agree. That's something I've talked about before on here a little bit.
Yeah.
When they do those segments where
they're all on stage.
Where they're all on
the
stage. The
enemies are next to each other holding hands and not making date plans or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that.
Random tangents.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Especially on our show.
I guess let's get into the main event then.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do this so we can get done with Raw.
Yeah. Towards the end, and this was a fine match. I thought the triple threat match was actually better than this main event.
I think the triple threat was, I'm going to say, the Raw match of this month. So far.
I can't think of anything to oppose you.
Because there hasn't been anything.
Yeah. So towards the end, Balor gets hit by Cena with an avalanche AA, a triple A, if you will, off the top rope. And that's when Corbin tries to sneak in and get the win by pushing Cena out of the ring and pinning Balor.
Yeah.
But Balor kicks out. And that's when Corbin gets a chair. He starts taking out everyone with the chair. Let's see. But then Cena comes in and hits an AA on Corbin. Drew hits a Claymore on Cena. And then Balor hits like a tilt-a-whirl DDT on Drew. And then he hits the coup de grace on Cena and pins Cena.
I was shocked. I'm not shocked that Cena gave the pin, because Cena's all about putting people over.
Now he is.
Now. Well, I mean that's his legacy. His legacy is going to be putting people over that need it.
Well, I don't know that that's what his legacy will be.
In time.
It will be
time.
It will be this portion of his career.
Well, okay, I'll give you that.
But I think his legacy is quite the opposite to a lot of people.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends who you are and what you see.
Yeah. Or what you can't see.
Yeah, good point. Good point. But, I mean, overall, it was a good match. Of course, I was disappointed that Cena didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, other than take my personal feelings out of it, it was a good match.
Yeah, and it told an overall pretty good underdog story for Finn Balor.
Yeah, and except for it having to be the main event because of the Finn Balor segments and stuff, I think the triple threat should have been the main event.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that match was better, but this match had more important stakes, I would say.
More important stakes of who's going to face Brock Lesnar instead of who's winning this championship belt tonight?
Yeah.
No. Lashley won the belt on that night. That match was more important than who's going to face a champion later.
Well, I would say that the mentality is that the send the crowd home happy adage, and ending with Lashley winning with the assistance of Leo Rush might not be the most satisfying ending.
But I mean, how often they don't end a show like that very often. It's always, let's send them home happy.
Mm.
No, send them home with something real. Send them home with some emotion. Give them something to talk about and tweet about. That's why people don't want to watch wrestling, because nobody wants to talk about it. There ain't nothing to talk about.
Yeah. So this sets up Finn versus Brock at the Royal Rumble.
Which is obvious. We know who's going to win. Brock's just going to pound him into the dirt.
Yeah.
I mean, he might...
Well, I'm sure this will be a competitive match.
I'm sure he'll try to be competitive, at least more than the Cena match. But, I mean, The Undertaker could do more than that.
One of the fascinating things, too, about this is that if you remember, it was supposed to be Finn Balor versus Brock at last year's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But apparently Vince got cold feet over it because he didn't feel like Finn was over enough.
And Finn's been over since he debuted on the main roster.
Yeah, and that's when they replaced it with the triple threat with Braun Strowman and Kane.
Yeah. And you know,
and that was when they really just cooled off Balor, and they were having him lose to Kane on TV. And
yeah, but you know what would make this match at the Rumble better is if he came out in demon makeup.
Well, I would assume he has to,
but he doesn't very much, even at pay-per-views.
Well, it's supposed to just be the biggest matches.
Well, it used to be just on pay-per-views he'd do it, and then I guess they changed it again to only big matches. But he doesn't get involved in big matches.
Yeah. That's what makes it difficult.
So it's like, okay, well, you can do it on big matches, but we're not going to give you any. So take it how you want.
Yeah. Well, I don't really want them to overdo it either.
No, I don't want to see it every week.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind seeing it every month at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
once a month ain't bad.
I think how they do it is fine.
I don't, because I haven't seen it in almost a year.
Yeah, which makes you want it more.
No, it pisses me off because I'm not seeing it. And then when I do see it, it's going to be, it's about damn time. Now I got to wait another year.
All right. Fair enough. I think that's about all we have for Raw, though.
Yeah, I don't have anything else on Raw. Good show overall.
Yeah, some good, some bad. I thought I did not like all of the NXT call-ups except Nikki Cross was kind of okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know. Heavy Machinery, I like their spot
SmackDown.
Here. SmackDown. Not as good as Tuesdays, but
similar to ironically funny, but not vehicle funny.
Arriving to the arena. It was a weird way for them to be
introduced. This time it was Becky Lynch.
I think Tuesday should have been their introduction.
Not a limo. Yeah.
I think that would have been better.
And the interviewer is waiting on her. And she asks Becky a dumb question. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Becky doesn't really even answer it. She walks away, and then she throws her keys at her. Like, let's get
she did say she'd answer it when she's going to go to the ring.
Okay.
And then threw her keys at her.
But that was the gold part, is that she threw her keys at her like a valet. Like,
and didn't even catch them.
Yeah, and then she said, "Nice catch."
Yeah.
That's how little she thought of this employee.
Love Becky.
Yeah. So, as Becky is walking in this parking garage area, I guess, she walks towards the New Day and Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker. And Heavy Machinery are putting things in a blender.
Pancakes.
Protein powder, and with...
raw egg.
With eggs
with the
shell, and tuna and pancakes.
Yeah.
And what I loved about this is that New Day are like the ones that are always doing the ridiculous things, but Heavy Machinery doing this was like disgusting them.
And yeah, grossing them out.
Like they were like, dude, the show's still on though.
Yeah.
That's what I did like about that.
Yeah.
And so they blend it all up, and Otis takes a drink of it, and they're asking around if anyone wants a drink, and Becky comes in, and she of course takes a drink of it.
Yeah.
And she says it was a little weak.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, when they notice that Becky's there too, Xavier Woods like pulls down his jacket zipper to show that he's wearing the Becky Lynch t-shirt.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Oh, you'll have to go because he has like this shocked look on his face, and he's just like and pulls down the zipper and unveils the man
I'm gonna have
t-shirt.
to rewatch that part. I didn't see that.
That was hilarious. Yeah, so Becky comes out to the ring. She does a promo. Her
promos are at least watchable.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty good.
Yeah. This one kind of aired on more the side of like pandering, I thought. But then Asuka came out and everything got better.
Asuka.
And Asuka tells her that Becky is a bee with no sting, she says.
You could make that out?
Stop it. You can understand her.
No, I can't. I'm serious. I cannot understand Asuka. Very few words do I understand her.
Oh, she's fine.
And it might just be me. I cannot comprehend what she's saying. It's like Nakamura. I can't do it.
I feel like Asuka's more clear. But also, and we'll see this later on, I prefer when Asuka just cuts her promos in Japanese.
It makes more of a statement.
Because she looks very angry.
Well, Japanese is an angry language.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to any Japanese people talk Japanese, and it sounds like they're yelling at each other, and they're just saying, I love you.
Yeah, like, Asuka yelling at people in Japanese is threatening.
Yes.
Like I would be scared of her.
Even if she's saying, I'm going to buy you a cloud, it still sounds threatening.
Yeah.
Here's a puppy.
So... Asuka also says after the Royal Rumble, Becky will no longer be in Charlotte's shadow, but instead she will be in hers.
Yeah.
And that is when the Iconics come out.
Oh boy.
I like the Iconics here.
I like them better in NXT.
They poke at Becky and Asuka in the ring, and they like the first thing that they say is that Becky is being bossy Becky, they called her.
Yeah.
And they said that is such typical behavior of a man, which I thought was a funny line.
That one was. I'll give them that. Somebody wrote him a good line.
They say that they're going to win the Royal Rumble and win the tag titles at Elimination Chamber, and then win the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania.
Well, who's good? First off, they can't win the Royal Rumble.
Well, that's what they said.
You're going to have one winner. And two,
well, that's not true. There was the Yokozuna and Bret Hart tie. I think it was.
What was that, like 93?
Yeah.
94?
Well, they could just exit the ring simultaneously, and then they both can win.
But, I mean, and then go to Elimination Chamber. These two don't even deserve to watch it, let alone be in it.
Well, who else is going to be in it?
A couple 12-year-olds from the audience got a better shot.
I mean, if you think about this mathematically.
No, mathematically, there isn't a whole lot.
there have to be 6 teams in this chamber.
So you've got 3 from SmackDown. So we've got the Iconics.
Mandy and Sonya,
Naomi, and Asuka.
Yeah, but
that's not going to happen because Asuka's women's champion.
They could do like Naomi and Lana.
And I could see that. I'm not saying Lana's any good, but or Carmella.
Yeah. The thought of Lana in an elimination chamber just like seems odd.
Lana and Carmella teamed up.
Or
if
Naomi and Carmella.
If Carmella would go back to blonde and R-Truth came out with her, he could call both of them Carmella.
He still could.
Yeah, I mean, hell, he called who was it? Maurice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, after this, right when I thought too that I thought this was for sure heading for the old opponents teaming together.
Yes, I did too.
That we just saw on Raw.
Yeah.
With Becky and Asuka tagging, but instead Becky just challenges one of the two of them.
I actually thought she was going to challenge both of them.
Yeah,
a 2-on-1 match.
Yeah,
that would have made a statement.
She was so infuriated with Asuka that she wanted to make a statement.
Yeah,
and it's Becky versus Peyton Royce is what is when we come back from commercial.
Yes,
and Becky is wrestling in jeans.
Yeah, just like she got out the car, she didn't change. Not like most of them where, you're going to have a match later, so go get ready. It's, I'm going to beat your ass now.
Yeah. That'll come into play later in the show, too.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't expect much from this match, obviously.
I loved the start of this match where Becky, extends her hand for a handshake, and Peyton goes to accept it, and she punches her in the throat.
Yeah, I like that. That was nice. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of notes on this match, really.
Lacey Evans was intently watching this on TV.
Yes. And in case they didn't listen to it on Raw, Lacey Evans was part of Glow. Hey, some people don't listen to the whole thing.
Okay. Lacey definitely passed.
I could plug that as much as Glass was plugged on Monday.
Yeah. Thankfully, we didn't hear from Glass on this SmackDown show, I don't think.
I don't think we did.
Lacey
Evans was on Glow. Sorry.
I was going to say that Lacey Evans clearly passed her how to watch television in WWE class.
Oh, yeah.
Because, she has to stand, to the left of the television and still be facing towards the camera, but still watching the television.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic WWE.
Oh, of course. The only note I really have on this is, one, Peyton actually put up more of a fight than I thought she would.
Yeah, it was longer.
I mean, it was longer than the 2 minutes I thought it'd be. And two, can Peyton not find tights that actually match her body tone, her skin tone? She looked like she forgot to tan the upper half of her body.
I don't know.
It wasn't even close. She might have wore black or something. It just looked so stupid.
I don't notice these things, apparently.
Apparently. Well, that's because you love the Iconics so much.
I don't love them. I just like them.
No, it just stood out. I mean, you got these big bright lights shining on your pale ass body, and you got these dark ass leggings on. You look retarded.
Okay.
But that's the only notes I got on this.
Becky put away Peyton Royce with the disarmer.
Yes. I spent too much ink out of my ink pen on this note.
And so immediately after, Asuka comes into the ring, and this is where she's yelling in Japanese.
Yes.
Which I wish she did all of her promos like that. I don't care if no one can understand her.
At least put subtitles.
You'll be able to tell that she's pissed off.
Yeah, and they can put subtitles just so we know what she's saying.
And so apparently what Asuka wanted was now she wants a match with Billie Kay.
Yeah.
But the Iconics are leaving. So Asuka just says to hell with that and gets out of the ring and just drags Billie Kay to the ring.
Yeah. Which, okay. You want a match, you're going to get a match.
And the match was started.
And then it was ended.
And then very quickly, Asuka transitioned. She went from an arm bar sort of move. And then
weird arm bar. Didn't even have her arm locked.
Yeah, and then she went into a sort of disarmer thing where she was staring down Becky.
And that was pathetic.
And then it went right into the Asuka lock.
And that was it.
And Billie Kay was done.
Yes. Which is fine. That's just like her career. They might do better on the indies. I don't think they're going to make it in the big leagues.
Well, Billie Kay isn't really that great a wrestler.
Peyton Royce
is good.
I actually enjoyed watching her.
She's always been the better of the two, I think, as far as wrestling.
Even on and promos and
yeah.
And I think it's
well, both of them have personality.
They do. I think it's just like Billy Kay's voice just rubs me the wrong way, like I'm listening to nails across a chalkboard. So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it looks like she ran into a wall with her face, and it just got pushed back.
Oh, that's so rude.
I'm not trying to be rude. I mean, just what I see. It's an observation.
Chris has no room to be insulting someone else's appearance.
That's true. I'm an ugly fool, but still.
Oh man. Where the hell was I?
After the
Becky and Asuka mouth off to each other again, and AJ Styles music randomly cuts this off.
And I thought it was going somewhere.
Yeah, but instead Becky and Asuka are just kind of leaving the ring, and AJ even like stares down Asuka.
Yeah. Again, it's like, what's the point? That segment ended like a moment of bliss ended.
Yeah.
Exact same.
Yeah, it's like they don't know how to transition, so they're just like, well, we need something to break this up.
Oh, we did it on Raw. Let's do it on SmackDown. No one will notice.
And we can't put a commercial break here, so let's just have AJ come out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe eventually the Asuka and AJ stare down can lead to something.
Mixed match challenge, man.
Yeah, some sort of mixed tag match. And so that transitions into AJ just, he circles around the ring, and then he goes through the crowd, back to the concourse area.
He interrupted Asuka and Becky for nothing.
Yeah, just to go somewhere else.
Just to walk around the ring and go through the audience up the stairs.
Yeah. And so...
should have tripped him.
So, I think we do a commercial there, and then it comes back, and AJ is in the concession area, and he's...
And you know they were at commercial, because the second it came back, then all of a sudden people started cheering. So, you know, the producer behind the cameraman sitting there counting down like 3, 2, 1, and then everybody just starts going crazy.
So, this was sort of like the contrary to the promo that Daniel Bryan did the week before.
Same thing as last week, but total opposite.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, last week Daniel Bryan was talking about how terrible consumerism is and how everyone is spending money and buying AJ Styles merch and drinking soda and eating hot dogs to fill a void.
You know why he's mad? Because no one's buying his new merch. The Yes Movement's dead, so they don't want anything from
I don't think he has any new merch.
He doesn't have that shirt that he wears? Follow your dreams or whatever, fight for your dreams.
Was that ever a shirt?
I don't know. He wore it, so I figured it was.
Oh, I
figured since he wore it on TV, it was available.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Maybe he just ain't got no merch. That's why he's mad.
Yeah, so...
AJ got hats and gloves and shirts and pants. And
AJ is getting towards, like, John Cena levels of merchandise.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's good for him.
Yeah, I mean, if people are buying it, give it to them.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in.
Yeah, I'm glad though that AJ has been able to transition that into.
He really is the new John Cena.
Yeah.
At least on SmackDown.
Yeah, it's a shame that he's not younger.
Yeah, where he had more time.
Yeah,
because he's already.
Which sounds like such a weird thing to say. Oh, it's a shame he's not younger.
That's so cool. I could go so far with that. But he's what, mid-30s?
No, he's like 42.
Oh, he's older than Cena. Because Cena's 41.
Or maybe he is 41. I'm not sure.
So, but either way,
he's
right
in
there,
his 40s.
He's right there with Cena on age, but Cena's got a couple decades in WD.
Yeah, and Styles has a couple decades
everywhere else. So if you team them up, man, they've got the world down pat. I mean, they've got it.
Yeah.
But I do believe he's the next John Cena, as long as he stays with the company.
Yeah, and he said, like, he has a few years.
Oh, he's still got some time.
And I don't imagine he's going to be going anywhere. But I do think the thing that he wants to do is work less dates on his new contract that he's negotiating, that not work as many live events, like the way that it
house shows, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that I understand.
It was described as he wants to have more of a Randy Orton schedule.
Just on TV.
Yeah.
Which I get, but you can only have so many people do that before you have nobody for live shows.
Yeah.
And you can't do the same matches over and over and over for 6 months on tour and expect people to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. It is difficult with the live events, but going into the actual promo AJ does, the contrary of Bryan's promo last week, instead he has a table set up with soda and hot dogs and AJ Styles merchandise.
All kinds of merch.
And, he just says that everyone here paid their hard-earned money to have a good time, and they should be able to do whatever they want. And he's throwing merch into the sea of fans that are carefully orchestrated outside of the designated areas.
Yeah.
And eventually, someone in a hood attacks AJ Styles.
Which
was Daniel Bryan.
It wasn't much of a cover. I mean, it covered his head.
It actually did kind of come out of nowhere, though. Like, I didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't see it coming.
I never noticed him there until...
Yeah, I think he was in the back. Because I looked for him. I rewound it and looked for him, and I didn't see him until the second he jumped up.
Yeah.
So he might have just been behind everybody, off camera, just to the left.
Mm-hmm. And they all brawl, and eventually AJ puts Bryan through the table of hot dogs, and there's like a...
mustard and ketchup. Big old jugs of it.
Yeah, the big jugs, and Bryan has mustard all over his pants.
All over. But you know what would have been better? Is if AJ would have grabbed a hot dog, wiped that mustard, and shoved it in his face. That would have been better.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Daniel Bryan would have been okay with it. I mean, for the show, he would have went with it.
Bryan, in real life, isn't a vegan anymore, from what I know.
Really?
I know for sure I've heard someone else say that.
Well, maybe by the time Total Divas is over this season, I'll know. Because I'm still 6 months behind.
Let's see. We are, after that, shown an Usos photo shoot.
Okay.
From earlier.
Okay. I have to say this on record. I was wrong last week.
Yeah.
I stated that Jimmy was the one that was Naomi's husband who had the gray beard, because I figured that's why.
No, you said Jay.
No, I thought Jimmy was.
No, you're getting it backwards again.
Am I?
Yes, it's Jay is the one with the beard.
Yeah,
but with the gray in his beard.
I'm repeating what I said last week.
Yeah, but you said Jimmy.
Oh.
Okay. Let's try. Okay. So last week we agreed that Jay was Naomi's husband, and he has the gray in his beard.
Yes, because he had the gray.
But while that is true, it is Jay that does have the gray in his beard. It is Jimmy that is married to Naomi.
Yes. So
even after we have this figured out, it's still confusing.
It's so confusing. So now we've got Jimmy and Gray Jay.
Gray Jay Styles?
Gray Jay Styles. That was good. That's what you were holding on for. Yeah. Okay.
I've been waiting for that
Gray
one.
Jay Styles. Maybe that'll be his nickname, in 5 or 6 years. If I start seeing Gray on AJ, I'm going to make that.
Gray
Jay Styles. That's going to be his retirement match, in WrestleMania 84.
His retirement home match.
He'll still be fighting The Undertaker.
The Undertaker's like 142.
And still around.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, it's my bad.
Yeah.
Jimmy is Naomi's husband.
Okay. Well, this segment allowed us to get that very clear.
If you paid attention.
Yes, because they receive a gift, and it's for Jimmy, and he gives it to Jay, and Jay reads it.
Yes.
And it was like a little love letter that Jimmy thought was from Naomi, but it was actually from Mandy Rose.
In the box.
And in the box was
a rose.
Yeah.
And
hotel room key card.
And you can't forget the hotel room key.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a play out of scene in AJ's book right there. Not AJ Styles, but AJ Lee.
Yes. This was done different than that. We'll get to that later.
Yes, it was.
And then we go to Samoa Joe walking down the hall, and we get another random EC3 appearance.
Yeah,
he is looking at himself in a mirror.
Yeah.
That's all he's doing. Like, if I am to believe what they are showing me, then that must mean that all day during this TV show, all EC3 was doing was looking at himself in the mirror the whole time.
But it also makes me wonder, is he going to be like the character equivalent to the model Rick Martel?
Maybe.
Because he cared about his appearance like that a lot.
Yeah.
So are they just going to try and reboot that?
I don't, not a reboot. I think that's part of his character, but it's not the whole thing.
Just using part of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I noticed that watching it, and it was like,
yeah,
it's the same crap.
There's definitely parts of that, but I think EC3, to me, he has the most upside of any of the ones that they called up. And when you put everything together, the look and what Vince normally likes, I feel like EC3 had the best chance to really make an impact.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that's also there weren't a lot of big names that were called up. These were largely the mid to lower people in NXT.
They've just been in NXT long enough to be called up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, EC3 hasn't been there.
No, but he came in.
I don't think Heavy Machinery have either. Nikki Cross has for a while.
She's been there, Lacey Evans, she's been there for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much actually on TV she's been, but I know she's been signed to the Performance Center for a while.
Right. And, I mostly only watch the takeovers, so I'm not very familiar with her.
I just know,
and I'm still not very familiar with her, other than when she appears and watches TV.
Watch Glow.
So there was supposed to be a match with Mustafa Ali and Samoa Joe,
which honestly I didn't even want to see this match.
But Samoa Joe beat down Ali before the match, and he's throwing him into the posts.
Yeah, it looked horrible too.
And Ali sold this like he was dead.
He did. Every time he hit that post and he landed, he did not move.
Yes.
He sold it like a champ.
Yeah. Maybe it comes from Ali's background as a police officer in Chicago.
Play dead.
Yeah.
They don't shoot you more.
He knows what a dead person looks like and how they act. So he took that into there.
Well, no matter what he did, it did the job.
Yeah.
It looked great. The impact... it looked painful, which I'm sure it was.
Yes.
But when he hit and the way he flew off the post, it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
It really was.
Not a typical...
I want to know who taught him how to sell so we can teach everybody to do the same.
Yeah.
There's not but a few people that can sell like that.
Yeah, and that's a great trait for Ali to have.
Especially so young in his career.
Yeah.
Man.
So, after this, there's Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. And Sonya is trying to reason with Mandy. Playing the good person here.
Yeah.
And she says she's not sure about Mandy giving her hotel room key to Jimmy. She says, isn't that a bit scandalous?
Yeah.
To which Mandy says, yeah, that's the point. And Mandy says she can't stand Naomi so much so that if she can do anything to make her life worse, then she will do it. And what better way to do that than breaking up their marriage?
Well, I'm sorry, but looking at what she had on, I'd break my marriage up too.
So, my biggest issue with this whole thing is that Mandy hates Naomi so much that this is what she's doing. But what evidence do we have? What backstory is there to what Naomi ever did to Mandy Rose?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't recall anything.
It's like they just it would be like if you were reading a book and you just read the last page. You would have no clue what's going on.
Yeah, or you just started in the middle.
Yeah.
It's just how to get to this point?
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now. How the hell to get to this point?
I feel like that's how creative meetings go at WWE. This is what we want to do. How do we get there? Let's just do it.
There was an article on Cage Side Seats from a former writer for WWE, and he actually laid it out by how every day goes for the writers.
Was it Jimmy Jacobs?
I don't remember. I think it might have been.
Yeah,
but it was really in depth, and I understand now why some of the crap looks horrible that we see because of how quick things have to change on the fly, especially when you've got the king himself, McMahon, changing stuff at the last minute.
If it's the Jimmy Jacobs interview that I'm thinking of, I remember that he talked about it, and that he said, like, when you're writing the shows, you're not writing thinking this is something the audience will like, as opposed to you writing thinking, oh, well, Vince will like this.
Yeah, they're writing for Vince. They're not writing for
They're
us.
writing for an audience of one.
Yeah, and yet they're expecting the audience of millions to pay their bills. Could you imagine if just for 1 week nobody showed up to a live event, televised or not? Could you imagine if they just put on a show for nobody? That would tell them that, hey, that'd say something. We'd be like, hey, we're doing something wrong. But of course, I mean, that'll never happen.
Yeah,
there's
not anytime soon.
There's too many fans worldwide for that to happen.
Yeah, that's
why, like at WrestleMania, you've got people from 150, 200 countries represented in the audience.
Yeah. So Nikki Cross had a random appearance.
Oh yeah, when Rey Mysterio was walking
behind like a fenced area.
Let Nikki play. I play with you, Rey. I'm loving Nikki, man. I'm digging it.
We'll see where they go with her.
I hope they keep up with it because I'm digging the character.
Yeah.
I was impressed with her abilities on Raw. So I don't know, looking like she might be a good keeper.
Hopefully. So we had the match of the week here. Rey Mysterio versus Andrade, who is now...
Wait, did you say match of the week?
Yeah.
That's funny. Because you can see it in my notes. Match of the month.
Match of the month. And so, for one, Andrade is now known as Andrade.
I've got a note right here.
And nuts.
So Andrade Cien Almas is now known simply as Andrade.
Yes. Every promo package they put up and everything else they involved with his name, he is now Andrade.
You think it's because most of the people like white folks like us just couldn't say his name?
I don't see how.
Well, I don't know.
His name is pretty simple.
Or do you think it was just too long? Because, Apollo Crews was too long, so they had to drop it to just Apollo.
There's, I want to try to reason with this, but I feel like there is no way to.
How can you reason with it? Because we've gone over this for a few weeks before in the past.
Yeah.
For like 3 or 4 straight weeks. We talked about how they were shortening names to like DB or Daniel Bryan. I mean, so now we've got, A versus RM.
I would have liked it, if you were going to drop part of the name, I feel like Andrade would have been the better part to drop and call him Cien Almas.
It flows better.
Yeah.
Or even Andrade Almas. But that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But it's either, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. They're just lazy. They just don't want their commentary to have to actually say everything. And I even have it right here in my notes. How lazy are these people?
I think it has to be that Vince doesn't like names with A.
What? We've got Apollo?
Yeah, the names with A are the ones that get shortened. There was Alexander Rusev and Apollo and Andrade. It's these A names. What else was Adrian Neville?
Went to Neville.
Yeah.
God, Vince is such an a-hole.
Oh my goodness.
I never thought about that. Everyone starts with A almost.
I'm trying to remember the other ones. Big E used to be Big E Langston.
But that's not a huge difference.
That's not a huge deal.
Because Big E Langston just is too much to say. Big E says it all. You can say Big E and know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not like if I say Andrade, who in the hell is that?
For what? That's whatever.
It just doesn't make sense, and it's becoming a joke.
Yeah.
that all they're doing is shortening names because for what? I want a reason.
I would like to know. And I don't know if it's like a branding thing, if they think it's easier to brand someone with a different name or something. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws.
And I could understand that, but you can't 1 week have the long name and the next week it's shortened.
Yeah.
You have to take that character off TV for a while.
Andrade has been on the main roster for like half a year
at least. And he's just now getting his name shortened.
Maybe that's why they weren't pushing him, because Vince didn't like his name.
Vince probably can't say his name. And that's probably why he has to shorten it.
Maybe that's why, because he just sees like his name on the run sheets and doesn't actually hear his name, and he's like, Andrade Kian Elmas.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Well, that's because, Vince McMahon doesn't see people. He sees dollar signs with names.
Yeah.
And apparently this long name wasn't bringing in long dollars.
I can see that as a legitimate reason.
I really can.
Is that he just looks at the name and looks at like, I can't see this being on a poster.
You know how many letters I'd have to order for the marquee?
Anyway, let's not let this distract us.
Because it was an awesome
match. What was an awesome match. And there were just so many spots to go over here that you really just have to watch it.
We really can't cover them all.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hard hits, a lot of flying around.
A few of them I wrote down was the spot Ray does a springboard, and he springboards himself into like an electric chair sort of position on Andrade, where he'd normally do like a Hurricane Rana or something off of. But Andrade like runs him to the ropes, and they both tumble over the ropes to the floor. But Andrade lands on his feet and is still in the electric chair.
Is still up there.
And he spins Ray into a sit-out powerbomb on the floor.
Awesome. Great
spot. And,
of course, you can't... just the Hurricanrana from Ray to the floor with the...
Yeah, that was good.
Andrade.
There was Ray... I like this, too, because it called back to the match they just had last week in the tag match where...
Oh, that sunset pile driver?
Yeah, where Ray tries to do that same pile driver move, but this time Andrade is ready for it, and he reverses it into an Alabama slam.
Yes. But he does end up hitting it.
Yeah, he hits it later on in the match.
And I still had to watch it like 5 times just to enjoy it.
Yeah, which to me says that they are allowed to do this.
Yes, because they showed it, even in slow-mo when they hit. So Andrade's head wasn't even close to the mat.
Yeah, but that's fine.
No, that's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm saying I'm glad they showed it so we know it's safer than a normal pile driver.
Yeah.
And then, come on, the crucifix bomb.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it until Corey said it.
Yeah.
But I figured it's a perfect name.
Yeah, and the sunset flip pile driver, we want to keep calling it.
Yes. I don't know if that's the name.
There is an actual name for it.
Is there?
It's a Canadian destroyer.
How racist.
But that is actually, after I'd looked into it and thought about it, that a move, like, in WWE, obviously, they never use it, but in, like, indie matches, it's something that's used a lot.
Really?
A good amount.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I would like it to be used more sparingly, because I think it's just a hell of a spot.
It was great last week to introduce it.
Yeah.
I don't think we should have seen it until a pay-per-view.
Yeah. I also feel like it should be a finish.
It really should.
Because it's such a good looking move.
And I've got it. He could do the 619. It knocks the people on their feet, but they're rocked. Then he can do the sunset pile driver, and then he can drop the dime. And there's his finish.
Right.
It's 3
Or you could just replace the dropping the dime with the pile driver.
And that's true, too, because dropping the dime, you're not doing much.
Yeah.
You're not even dropping a quarter or a nickel or nothing. You're just belly flopping on top of somebody. This looks a lot better, and the name of the Sunset Powerbomb sounds better than a Canadian destroyer. I don't know. Did we come up with that?
What?
Sunset Pile Drive?
You did last week.
Did? Okay, I couldn't remember if I...
That is what you called it last week.
Okay. I couldn't remember if I came up with it or if I heard it.
Ray goes for a 619, and he hits it, and he goes to the top rope to finish it off, but Vega distracts Ray and the referee, which allows Andrade to take advantage and hit a suspended hammerlock DDT, with Ray hanging from the top rope for the win.
And I have to say, it's a shitty ending to an awesome match.
I disagree.
Not the fact that Andrade, Cien, almost won, but just the fact that, Zelina very, very rarely interferes.
Yeah.
And she just, this one time, she had to interfere and ruin what I thought was a perfect match.
Yeah, but it didn't ruin it. To
me, it did.
It sets it up for
yet another match of the same people that we just saw last week. We saw this week. We're going to get next week, and we're going to probably get at the Royal Rumble.
Well, I don't want it next week.
But they would.
If they hold out longer, then I would like it more. But I like Andrade getting the win here, and even with Vega helping him, because, like you said, she doesn't do it that often.
I know, but I'm getting my good matches are getting ruined because of outside interference.
Right,
and it's getting old. I can tell you next week, as soon as I see the card, which matches are going to end with outside interference.
Yeah,
and it's just getting old, really old. I want to see some actual matches, not people on the outside interfering. If you want a match, get your ass a damn match.
Yeah, but
don't interfere. Be a man or a woman, and get your own match.
But the difference is, though, is that Zelina just did, like, this one spot.
Yes.
Towards the end.
Yes. But it was, like, to me, it's the match of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to see that quality of a match ruined. Because, to me, it dumbs it down.
Well...
And I'm not saying it ruined the match itself.
Yeah.
But it ruined the ending to where I don't care anymore because I know what's going to happen. She's going to interfere.
Yeah, but there's... You want Andrade to win, but you also don't want to have him beat Ray clean right now.
I'd rather him beat him clean right now. That's just personal opinion.
Yeah.
I would just rather him win clean or let Zelina interfere, but earlier in the match, not the deciding factor in the match. I can live with that. Interfere earlier on, grab a foot under the rope, something like that, distract the ref, whatever. Mm-hmm. But earlier to the middle of the match, not the very end to where it just ruined what we just saw.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mind it as much. I thought it was just like the beginning of the story. So,
and I mean, it's just my opinion. Not everyone's going to feel the same. Maybe nobody will. But I get just my feelings, man.
I get it though. We get this Jimmy and Mandy Rose thing. Oh, God, yes. And
it was so good, I didn't put a note about it.
Jimmy comes into Mandy's hotel room. And it's evidence that Mandy's whole plan here was to get Jimmy into her room with her wearing her lingerie.
Which was nice.
And right away, Jimmy is telling her that he can't do this. And all that. And that's when a photographer appears and takes pictures of them together.
And then runs out the door.
Yeah. But he just appeared out of nowhere.
Out of the bathroom.
So like, what... This is so contrived because this is airing on television.
Yes, thank you.
With the camera crew there. And I'm sure plenty of camera cuts.
Yeah.
But the photographer still has to come running out of the bathroom or wherever to take pictures of it.
And then she wants to play it off.
And, I mean, if Naomi wants to see that Jimmy was innocent, all she has to do is watch the show.
Yeah. It's not that difficult. I mean, they could have played it off and made it seem like a hidden camera.
Yes, like security camera footage.
Yeah, something like that.
But this was just WWE.
This was just a camera dude standing up next to these women going, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the first thing I thought of, too, is like, you're not going to tell Naomi nothing when all she's going to do is watch SmackDown. And guess what? We're going to know everything.
Yeah.
Gee, where were they last night? You know? Or Tuesday night?
Well, Raw, they were in Memphis. So
where were they in for SmackDown?
I'm guessing they were probably in Tennessee for SmackDown because they normally run close to each other. One night in Tennessee. Yeah, so.
One night in Mandy. That could be taken so many ways, and I didn't even think about it. But now I am.
Okay.
All right.
So
let's move on.
So, Jimmy was prepared for this, I guess.
Yes, it seemed.
Because I guess Naomi was like waiting outside the door.
Yeah. And at first I thought, okay, he's just going to leave. And it's like, it'd be cool. Is if, first I thought it'd be cool if it wasn't Jimmy, if it was Jay.
I thought that too. If they...
I was like, they just switched. That'd be awesome to mess with her.
Yeah.
But then with the beard, you can't do that.
Well, she might not notice that.
well, at her height, she has to look up to talk to him.
Yeah, so enter Naomi after Jimmy leaves, and Naomi goes after Mandy, and all hell breaks loose.
For about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what happened, but Mandy got the upper hand.
Well, she didn't really get the upper hand. She sort of just escaped and ran away.
Oh, is that what it was? I kind of...
Like, she threw her over a chair.
I saw that part, and then I skipped ahead 10 seconds, and it was Jimmy coming in to help her.
Yeah, and that's when she...
Okay, I didn't see her run out the door. I would have liked to see her run out the door wearing what she was. But that's okay. Don't shake your head no at me.
Yeah, so... As we discussed earlier with this whole portrayal of Mandy and Alexa Bliss in the other segment, is that I don't mind it as much when it's for the betterment of a storyline.
Yeah.
But the storyline sucks. So
the storyline sucks. There was no reason to start the storyline. It's not like we saw Jimmy hitting on Mandy or something like that. It was opposite. We saw Mandy hitting on Jimmy. Mm-hmm. And it's just been all Mandy, and there's no point.
Yeah, there was never any actual friction between Naomi and Jimmy.
Make it useful like and I hate to say it, but the night in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Make it...
It was a great storyline until they decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
Yes, but they could have kept it going for several weeks.
Yes.
And they should have.
Yes.
Because we haven't seen Aiden English since.
Yeah. So that tells you where the poor decisions were made.
Yeah. But they could have had this same scenario go on until Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And set up a match between them two.
Yep.
Even though they're both in the Rumble, I mean, I know there's not going to be a lot of time left, but I'm sure they can squeeze them in even on pre-show.
Yeah.
Which I did read that it's going to be Rusev and Nakamura, which could probably be on pre-show.
I would assume it is.
Which is sad because how are you going to have a title match on a pre-show when you got another match that's not a title match on the main show?
And that Nakamura is just getting his rematch.
Exactly. It's just his rematch clause. Well, we got rid of that according to the McMahons.
Do you mean to tell us that the McMahons lied to us?
I'm not going to say they lied. I'm going to say they just didn't tell the truth. Because saying they lied just sounds bad. I'm just going to say they didn't tell the truth. Which I know there's no difference. It's just the way it sounds.
So, this is what closes the show, is Miz coming out for the Bestie Birthday Bash, it is called.
Yeah.
For Shane McMahon. And Miz has some gifts for Shane.
I did like that gift, though.
He gives him some new Jordans.
They were pretty tight looking, too. I was surprised he didn't spring for the Nike self-lacing ones.
And another gift, he plays a video package of Shane McMahon on the Titantron.
Which really shows how old Shane is.
Yeah.
It really does.
Seeing the young Shane McMahon.
Doing a coast-to-coast and making it. Yeah. Compared to a couple months ago, doing it and falling like 4 feet short.
Yeah. Miz leads a happy birthday song with the crowd.
I had to skip it because Miz cannot sing. I had to skip it. My eardrums were bleeding.
Well, luckily for you, that's where the bar interrupted.
Yes, that's when I started watching it.
So, Shane decides to make an impromptu match between Sheamus and Miz.
And Miz didn't look happy.
Miz is in a suit.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm kind of in a suit, man.
We'll never stop Corbin.
Yeah. And Shane convinced him somehow, he said that when he won the Best in the World trophy, he was not dressed either.
Oh, he wears his jeans and a shirt anyway.
Yeah.
Well, actually, those track pants and like a jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give him credit. He wasn't dressed.
Yeah. Then you remember when the Best in the World tournament happened and Shane won, and our whole review of it was it didn't matter and it wasn't going to lead to anything.
We were wrong.
And yet here we are months later, and that Best of the World trophy is still a part of the storyline.
So you know what we need to do? We need to do what Rumor Roundup does. They go back, every so often they'll go back 6 months and reveal what rumors that they were talking about, and then see where they played out to that point.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do
where
that.
we were right and
we
where
started
we were wrong.
At the end of August, so maybe at the end of February we should do that.
Not a bad idea.
I've got my notes. Just go back through and see what we thought and where things ended up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't save my notes.
Oh, you suck. I said it low. They may not hear it.
So yeah, Sheamus versus The Miz is made, and later in the match, Cesaro tries to interfere on the apron.
He did interfere.
Yeah, so Shane McMahon jumps on the apron and pushes Cesaro off through the table with a cake on it.
Now, did you notice how on each side of the ring there was a table with a cake
on both sides?
Because, as we did not say, there was 2 big cakes made by Shane McMahon's favorite baker or whatever, flown in by The Miz to make these cakes for his birthday. And then all we get to do is see Cesaro fall through one.
Well, it's basic psychology that if there is a cake in any WWE segment,
somebody's going through it.
It is safe to bet that it is going in someone's face or someone's going through a table with it on it.
And I get that, but to make it better, they should have thrown Sheamus through the other one.
I liked what they did in the end here. Yeah. Miz gets the roll up on Sheamus off that distraction for the win. And then straight after that, Sheamus attacks Miz, but then Shane comes in for the save, and Miz hits the skull-crushing finale on Sheamus, and he drags Sheamus into the corner, and Shane is getting ready for his coast-to-coast.
With this little cake.
And then Miz goes and gets his cake and gets the cake.
A little one, because there was 3 of them technically.
Okay.
2 big ones and then the small white one that he used on the coast-to-coast.
Yes. And he holds it to Sheamus's face.
With the cake facing Shane McMahon.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when Shane hit it, cake went everywhere instead of on Sheamus.
On Sheamus. Which is why afterwards, Miz kind of just
smeared
took a piece of the cake and threw it on him.
And
my bad, we missed.
McMahon, you could tell McMahon hit wrong when he got up.
I didn't notice.
He didn't get up like he normally does. He got up in pain and almost kind of limping. And he did hit hard on his hip when he landed. So I'm not going to say it was...
That jump is getting harder and harder for him.
Yeah, maybe he needs to go, maybe not coast to coast, but, coast to mountains.
Well, it's hard, too, because, WWE, they have that 20 by 20 ring, and, every other ring is 18 by 18.
I thought, the indie show I've seen, it was 16 by 16.
Well, the smaller ones, but the bigger indie shows are 18 by indie.
Or 18 by 18. You think they'd all be standard. You really would. Basketball's standard.
No, there's bigger basketball courts. The high school basketball courts.
Well, high school, I'm talking about, college and pro, they're both the same.
Yeah, but...
Same with football.
But the three-point line is farther back in NBA compared to college. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't watch basketball.
The football field in college and football and NFL is the same.
Yeah, that I did know.
Just
I mean, come on. You don't see little kids bowling.
But then in the Canadian Football League, the field is wider.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It's the same length, but it's a bigger width.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's more like a soccer field.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess maybe Canadian. They're from Britain. You know, they're from overseas. Maybe their football is soccer. You know, just like it is over there.
Wait, did you just say Canadian is from overseas?
Well, some of them, like the French Canadian.
Okay, right, like the French Canada.
Yeah, you know, like that. And
yeah.
Canada is part of the British control.
Okay.
So to me, they're British. With accents. Different accents. Yeah, this show's gone on way too long.
Well, that was SmackDown.
Yeah,
so,
that was SmackDown.
There's nothing else to talk about.
No, it's just been a long show.
Yeah.
Longer than usual.
Yeah, we're at the 2 hour and 15-minute mark.
Hey, that's not bad. Only 45, not even 45 minutes on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So we did, almost hour and a half or more, a little over hour and a half on Raw.
Yeah, there was a lot of news to go over on Raw.
Yeah, there was. Other than that, good show. Both of them, really. I mean, they're both good.
Yeah.
I really don't have any complaints really worth noting.
No.
I mean, you can't have perfect everything every week.
Yeah.
We know this because we don't ever get anything perfect any week.
No.
So, I mean, it's not horrible. I'd say solid B's for both of them. B pluses for both of them. Okay. I'm not going to say A because I think they could have done a little better here and there.
I would go, like, B minus for Raw, B for SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was a little bit better.
Yeah, but that's because they have that one less hour.
Yeah, which makes it so much more bearable.
But in a way, you think they have more matches.
Which in Raw is more bearable.
It's Corbinable.
Do we have anything else to talk about, Chris?
I don't think so. There's nothing going on. We still got another week before we'll do our predictions next week.
Yep.
For the Rumble.
Yeah, unless you're Shane McMahon, and Shane in his promo said that Royal Rumble was this Sunday.
Oh, did he really? I didn't pay attention.
Yes.
Oh, shit, I didn't catch that.
He did, in fact, say that this Sunday at the Royal Rumble. Him? I don't think anyone did.
Oh, my God. He's a McMahon. Everything he says is true.
I guess we have to move the Royal Rumble now.
We get two of them. This was the greatest second Royal Rumble.
Yeah. This is obviously the inferior Royal Rumble.
Oh, of course. Are they going to do another greatest in April?
I don't know.
Have you heard?
I mean, I don't know if that's... I mean, they're going to do 2 more dates in Saudi Arabia next year.
This year?
Or this year,
Well,
rather.
they have to, because they've signed a 5-year contract.
Yeah. But I don't know if they're...
$20,000 billion.
But I don't know if they're planning on doing the same 2 shows, or if they're going to change the shows, or...
I know they are planning on doing another Evolution at some point. And It might be a different name, but it's going to be an all-women's pay-per-view.
That'd be nice with how good the first one was.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Look, I mean, the women deserve to shine on their own.
I would say that Evolution this year was probably the best pay-per-view of the year.
I'd put it up there.
Yeah.
I'd have to actually go through and watch them all again to make sure, but I'd probably put it up at least in the top 3.
Yeah. I mean, I can't off the top of my head think of one that was better.
I can't think of yesterday, so...
Yeah, I know this very well.
But that's okay.
Well, until next week, if you would, leave us a review on iTunes.
Please. I beg you.
I forgot to say it at the beginning.
Oh, well, why? No one ever going to.
Well, saying that at the beginning might have been the difference.
Well, that's right, because you were going to say it at the beginning, that way
so I could say it on the beginning and the end.
Yeah, because a lot of people just don't listen all the way through.
Yeah.
And we know this because we can spy on what you're doing.
Yeah. I have my analytics.
Yes. We've got Tom Phillips telling us what you're doing.
Tom. Until then, thank you all for listening.
Till next week, we will wrestle you later.